Good day. God bless you. Welcome back. My name is Zach. This is episode 25 in the Healthy, Wealthy, Happiness series. Book of James, chapter 2, verse 5. We have hearken, my beloved brethren. Hath not God chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which he hath promised to them that love him? All right. Thank you for all the new subscribers, all the comments, and the love being shared in the community. Thank you guys. I appreciate it very much. Had a commenter about hey, don't obsess about the scale so much. Must have watched a few of my videos and saw me weighing in a lot. Like I said in previous videos, I've done this type of routine before and didn't weigh myself at all, like once a month. But I'm weighing myself continuously every day and even multiple times a day for the video series, to show when we look back and see, what was he doing? Was it working? Where was he at? That way we have an accurate accountability for each step of the way. So definitely not obsessing about the scale, not planning on weighing myself 3 times a day after April 1st. We'll roll right into the new program, which I pretty much have figured out, but we'll see where we get by then. So talking about, getting on the scale every day. There's non-scale victories like I was talking about. I can feel my work shirts getting looser and my work pants getting a little more room in the waist. And, because like I said, when I got the new work uniforms 2-3 years ago, that I had just lost a bunch of weight and I left myself a couple sizes to grow into. And yeah, I grew into them for sure. And so I'm feeling them loosen back up. And, so then, even if you haven't lost much weight, that your body is reconfiguring itself. And the muscle, obviously I've been talking about going heavier on the weights and jogging and walking, and so that's gonna increase the density of your all of your muscles, especially like your quads when you're walking and jogging. And those are big muscles that when they tone up and gain in strength, they're gonna have a lot of extra weight. So sometimes you don't always weigh less. But with my fasting routine, I lose the tons of weight in the 4 days just from cleansing out. And, it's a pound or two of fat as well. But, like if it's 14 pounds, it was 11 or 12 pounds of just flushing out and everything. So having said that, today, so I just stayed busy. I got up, had my tea like always, started organizing around the house. You can see there's a lot more bins and shelves and books and stuff piling up because I'm getting through my storage locker over here. I'm going to be, that's going to save me $189 a month. And that's all part of this routine. I probably wouldn't have done it. I didn't really care. I was just like, it's nice to have that extra storage, but as I'm going through these bins today. And, part of it is to just stay busy because I was trying to get till noon, 1 o'clock without eating. And I did that. And we'll get to where I'm at with that, how much I weighed and what I ate and everything. But, so just reorganizing. And I actually went out and drove my delivery service for a couple hours, in the earlier before noon as well, just to burn up a little clock, made a few dollars and burn some time of the day. So talking about the diet and the fasting and then going until April 1st, the bunch of votes are in. There's, will Zach lose 20, 30, 40, 50 or over 50? And it looks like 30 is winning. So thank you guys so much for voting. I think all the votes are either we'll lose 30 or we'll lose over 50. So it's kind of motivating. Like, hey, thank you guys for the 30-pound guess, because that's motivating me to want to lose more than that. And then thank you guys for the votes for the 50 plus pounds lost by April 1st. And we're talking about since I began, like a few weeks ago, not from like 2 days ago when I put it up or whatever. So inspirational to see the votes come in and see where people think, obviously anybody voting for the 30 pounds knows that that'd be a healthier pace to lose weight, and people voting for the 50 plus, they're trying to motivate me to go hard. So and then having said that, I've already learned to adapt and adjust as this program has went. The first 4-day fast was great. And then the 4 days of eating, I gained back, most of it up except for 5 pounds. Just by eating and so that's why I wanted to put that limit on there, because if I didn't put that limit on there, I probably would have ate all the way until I was back to 270 where I started. So you say, well, Zach, you're just weighing the food and the water that you're drinking on your days of eating, and it's not really accurate of your weight loss, and that is true. But what it's helping me do was wait till we get to what I did today. It's helping me monitor the total amount of food, the volume, because that's the problem. When you're overeating is a huge problem. And obviously, I could eat 10 pounds of celery and gain 10 pounds, but it'd be a lot different than if I ate 10 pounds of Twinkies or, some junk food. So I'm adapting along the way, and I'm eating healthy, and, not everything's healthy, but I mean, I'm doing my best. And like I said, I celebrated New Year's Eve on this 4 days of eating. So it's setting me back a little bit, but that's part of the program, is how to work through holidays and birthday parties and different, maybe vacations and whatever it is, to still enjoy life, still do your life, and then have a program that can accommodate that and can take that, envelop that, and keep moving forward without it slowing you down. Just like I said, the New Year's resolution for this day is to wake up 365 days in a row with resolve and behind you, so. Got a little note here that I did find one of my A1C kits in my closet. So on April 1st or around there, maybe I'll do it live on camera, or I'll at least just do it right before the video that day. And we'll say, so I'll say what my weight is on April 1st, and I'll also say what my A1C is, because like I said, when I first got diabetes in 2016, it was 11.2. And then that same year, I got it down to 6.1. And then it was last summer, I got it down to like 5.4, which is the lowest I had ever had it. And then I also found in my notes in my phone, like one of my little note apps, that the last time I checked my A1C was in October. So not that long ago, November, December, January. So, just in the last 3 months, I checked it and it was 6.2. So that was up a lot from 5.4 from like the middle of the summer. And that's why I checked it, because I knew I had put on weight, and I was curious, what is it going to equate to? 220, it was 5.4. 255, it was 6.2, and I was just 270, so it was probably up even higher. It's probably more like 6.5, and so it'll be interesting to see with the weight loss and the working out and the eating better, that and the fasting, that the A1C, we'll see what we can get it down to by April 1st. And I forgot to mention it a bunch of times. So I said I fasted 4 days like 2-3 months ago before I started this series, and it got rid of my psoriasis-like skin condition on my left hand. Okay, and so now I did the first 4-day fast, and I talked about it in the video that it was like a lot better. And then I did a 4-day fast, and I showed it, and then I kind of forgot about it because it was going away and it wasn't itching or nothing. Well, I was driving around today and just with my knuckles and I was like, hey, they look pretty much the same. So a couple 4-day fasts, and you can't tell, but it's like 99%, because it, like, when I first got it, it was just everywhere, all the way up to these knuckles and to my wrists on both hands, and it looked like red snake skin, scaly. And then getting rid of the diabetes and it went away, and it stayed gone for like 10 years. And for like 10 years, because I got it even before I had diabetes. And then when I got diabetes, and then it just knocked it out, and it never came back at all. But it just came back, this year or last year, in the last 6, 7, 8 months. And it's been there this whole time. So it's not like it just went away, or I just got it and it went away, because no, this has been here on both hands since like March of, April somewhere of last year. So it couple fasts, all better. And then, so the more fasts, I have a bunch of 96-hour fasts coming up until April 1st. So it'll just be that much better, and it'll probably not come back at all. So I did want to talk about too, before I get to what my weight was and what I just ate for lunch. It's 1:25 right now. I ate lunch about 20 minutes ago, whatever, after I got back from driving and hauling stuff from storage. That my hunger levels, besides the mental thought I told you about yesterday, is with the like, oh man, some like Asian noodles, like the thin noodles, the lo mein noodle, all them kind of Asian dishes with pasta noodles in them. I just really like them, and it got in my head, and it was like, hey, come on, mind, don't do that to me. I'm not even hungry, but it reminded me to say about how my insulin levels are probably, because I'm equating it to how little I'm hungry now over these past few weeks of doing this routine. I'm eating because it's my eating time. I'm not like oh, I'm so hungry, I have to eat. Like I'm waiting till noon to eat just because it's the program. Like I'm not holding out or nothing. And like I said, yesterday I didn't eat till 1, and today same thing. I didn't eat past 1, and I was only trying to go past noon, but I just staying busy and doing my thing. I drank probably uh 2 cups of black tea this morning, which really helps, get you a little energy, and it is a bit of a appetite suppressant, I think. But then I had got some oolong tea as well, and I brought that with me while I was driving, and just sipping on it. Oh, it's just so hot, and it tastes kind of like kindling to me. Maybe like some small fire starting sticks is basically what it tastes like. It was made out of, but I could feel it just satisfying me enough to not really, be all rumbling stomach and thinking about it. Um, so that moves me into like how often I'm working out. I'm feeling good with the gym routine I'm at right now. Like I said, I set the goal to work out 7 days a week, an hour a day. And if you've been following along with these videos, it's been more like every other day, like maybe 1 or 2 days while I'm fasting, and then maybe 2 days while I'm eating, because I feel a lot better and more energy on my days off when I'm eating. But that just brings up the point that I don't think of it as a failure. Like I shot for the moon, and I missed, and it's like I'm still going to the gym 4 or 5 out of the 8 days, or even if it's only 3, it's better than none. And I'm not counting if I just walk around, or I was hauling many of these boxes today into storage and out of the storage and into the garbages, and I'm sorting through them and throwing stuff away. And I'm really trying to embrace that. If it doesn't bring me joy, but not just that, because you'll see something that you like it, a little trinket, this is cool. But is it supporting what your current life situation and goals and ideas and everything is? And part of my life right now is to boil it down to like what's important, like what really matters. I was just going through 2 or 3 bins that I had in storage. Mind you, I got out of the military in 1999. Okay, dating myself a bit. Well, I've already said my age many times, but my point is, this stuff has never been out of these bins. I've lived in Minneapolis, Burnsville, LeSueur, Shakopee. They've never been out of these boxes. They've sat in garages, multiple storage lockers, and now I finally threw a lot of it away. Just old beady, battle dress uniform pants and tops, and they don't fit anyway, and I wouldn't wear them. They're cool and everything, and I always kept them because, like, maybe my kids will dig through them when I pass away. But so I just saved like some of the heavier duty, like more expensive, like what are they called? Like field coats and like winter jackets. And, and I'll probably be able to get into them once April 1st hits, and maybe I'll show that I can fit back in my jacket that I wore when I was in my 20s, and now I can fit in my 50s. So that's just talking about, set your goals. Don't be so judgmental of yourself and like, oh, I missed the gym, and then I'm just going to eat a gallon of ice cream because I didn't do what I said I was going to do. This is all part of that battle between the spirit and the flesh, and the Bible says it's very real. Like this is documented by our Creator that we're going to go through this stuff. So, and that reminds me of my next note here is to like work it up, like those first 10 videos I talked about baby steps, and really, like my baby steps started years and years ago, like how did you just go from you quit drinking coffee, and then you quit smoking your e-cigarette, and then and then all of a sudden you're fasting 96 hours. It's like, no, I've done it dozens and dozens and dozens of times for the last, 10. I was doing fasting and intermittent fasting and juice fasting. There's something called a lemonade cleanse. And I mean, I was doing that stuff 20 years ago. So, I've worked it up, especially it's psychologically, like when you feel weak and faint and your stomach's grumbling and your knees buckle while you're walking, you think, oh, the first 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times, you have to eat. But after you've done it so many times, you don't, and you're going to be fine in 5 minutes. And so it's work up to the positive habits. And I brought it up in other videos, but it's baby steps, give yourself time, work up to it. If you want to just go 12 hours, I mean, a lot of people, growing up in the 70s, 80s, it was common. Like I didn't eat after, we had dinner at like 5:30 when my dad got home from work, and we didn't eat after that. And then I didn't eat breakfast till, I mean, let's say I had a snack after dinner as a child. It still wasn't past like 7 or 8. And then breakfast the next day was about that time, at school. You go to school and have your breakfast or wake up. And I don't remember, when I was in like kindergarten for second grade, or, but, I hardly have good memory of that time as far as what I ate. And, but my point is that it was very common to have about a 12-hour fasting window. And of course, that's what breakfast means. You're breaking your fast. So, I mean, historically, I mean, they even named it break the fast because you fasted every day. And that's very healthy. That's a good thing to do, like, back in the 90s, I think it's probably got popular where, you're going to the gym and you're lifting weights and you got to take all this protein and you got to eat every 2 hours, 3 hours to feed your metabolism and keep that anabolic situation going on where you're just growing and putting on mass. It's like, no, that's terrible for you. I mean, look at these big, NFL bodybuilding type men, they're not living to be no 100. Dudes are dropping dead as soon as they get out of the NFL because whether it's muscle or fat, it's just weight on your organs, and it's not good. So again, thank you to all the new subscribers. I got quite a few in the last couple days again, and I got some nice comments, compliments, and I'm glad I found you, and keep it up, and couple guys I even had, a couple back and forth with, a couple back and forth exchanges with messages. And it feels really good to know that, people are in the same situations, overcoming diabetes and over 50 and need to lose weight. And so it really, warms my heart to know that there's people not only behind me, but with me and shoulder to shoulder with me. And we can march forward together. Like I said in the very first video, I mean, obviously I don't script these videos, right? I mean, I just have little notes of categories so I don't forget. And I'm not writing out any of it. I'm not editing the videos. I'm not clipping them. I finally figured out how to clip out the ends of a couple of them. And I figured out how to change the thumbnails, but then I accidentally put some copyrighted thumbnails on. So I erased them all back off. So I got to come up with, I don't know where I'm going to find like just funny, like motivational messaging thumbnails. I think I just have to make my own once I get that figured out. So guys, if you're enjoying this content, please smash that like button. Like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. I mean, you don't even have to share it on social media. You could just tell your friends, hey, I found this guy on YouTube that's just doing his own thing. And he's not some big rich and famous guy in a suit and in a $100 hairdo. He's just a simple little dude in his little apartment, and he's going to do it. And when I get there, I want all these videos to be there. And that's why I think it's important to keep weighing myself for now until, for sure, at least till April 1st, and like I said, I'm not obsessing about it at all. I could easily go without weighing myself, if you did good that day, especially if you're not fasting, if you're just dieting and you stuck to your diet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or whatever, routine you're on. I would say, if you're going to start a new diet, just start eating from noon to 8. It's just you don't have to call it any kind of name. You don't have to say you're intermittent fasting. You don't have to say you're on 16/8. You don't have to say you're on keto or paleo or any. What was the one before the Atkins? I mean, the Atkins diet works gangbusters. I mean, that thing is like, he wrote that book basically how to cure diabetes, and then nobody gave a shit because diabetes wasn't as popular back then. So then he's like, okay, I'll say it's for weight loss, and then he sold millions of copies. It's kind of funny. Some success books I've read, it's like, you want to become a successful author in America, and you're like, read a book on weight loss. There's just a billion of them. Like, they're all the same. They all work. They're all just. It's mostly the cutting out of the junk, the refined carbohydrates, the processed foods. This is not rocket science by any means. This is simple. This is what I'm talking about, like simplifying like I'm going through these bins to simplify my life. There's stuff that I've been saving forever. I'm not getting rid of my books, so I put this shelf up just to stack up my books, and I have tons of board games and collectible type stuff that I don't know if I can swallow to get rid of all these. I'm definitely not throwing away the board games. If I get rid of them, I'm going to find somebody to give them away to. And also with the Army field jackets and stuff, I'm keeping them. Not just for me, but like if I can find a homeless guy or something that looks like he needs a warm jacket because I'm in Minnesota, I think they're larges and extra larges. They're pretty good size jackets, and they're really warm. For military issue for very cold weather. So, I threw them away at first. I was by my dumpster in my apartment building, and I got the underground heated garage. So I'm just sorting through stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, I can't. I threw away like the tore up, wore out BDUs, but and that brings to my last line here is just reduce life to its simplest form. Reduce your diet to its simplest form. Reduce your stress to its simplest form. Reduce your relationship to its simplest form. Love and self-love and gratitude and love of our Lord Jesus Christ, and make these decisions easy on you. This is not that hard. So, all right, I kind of skipped what my daily check-ins are. So I weighed in this morning when I woke up, and I was right at like 260 again, like 260.4 or something. But it was early. It was like 7 or 6 a.m., 6:30, I think it was. So I was like, all right, no big deal. I'll weigh less than, I'll have enough room to eat by noon. So I just stayed busy, drank my tea, drank my oolong tea, drank my water, and I was staying busy all day. And I was drinking a lot of liquid though. So when I got back here, I was like, well, I'll probably be a couple pounds under. I'll be able to eat something. And like I said, it's the volume of food. I'm trying to control the volume of food. So that's why I didn't want to go over 265 last time, go under 260 this time. Next time, depending on what I weigh, is it today? No, tomorrow night tomorrow night when I weigh in, I'll do my video later in the day tomorrow, because I want to say what my weight is at the end of the 4 days of eating. But anyway, when I got back at noon, 1 o'clock, getting ready to eat lunch, I didn't have any room. I was still at 260, like 259.7 or something, and it was like, well, I don't have any room to even eat. So I was like, well, I don't want to, go crazy and not eat all day on an eating day. I'm already fasting 4 days out of every 8. So I just had a couple turkey hot dogs out of the fridge, and I weighed myself after I ate, and I weighed just over 260. So like 260 and a half or whatever. So I'm right there. So that you look at just the one day of the one meal really of overeating for New Year's Eve, because it was overeating. It was legit a 4-course meal with appetizers and side dishes, and the main dish is this big wrapped up meat with veggies in it. And it was all the good food, but it was just a lot. And then, like I said, we were drinking the red wine until midnight, and we held hands and said a prayer, and we called it a night. But so even with doing that, though, I'm still under 260. Like if I weighed right now, it's been a half hour, 45 minutes. I went to the bathroom, urinated at least, so, and I'm all full of tea and water, and so we'll see. I might not even eat tonight for dinner, just depending on what I weigh. I went to the gym yesterday real hard. I might just go to the gym right after this video, because it'll be 2 o'clock, 2:15 by the time I get there, and those couple hot dogs will be digested out of my stomach. And maybe I'll just do because I lifted weights hard yesterday, I might just do like an hour walk on a treadmill or something, and try to burn up some of that some of the water, and give myself a little room to be able to eat some dinner tonight. But I think the all meat, even though it seems to really be suppressing my physical hunger, it does not seem to be like, it seems to have a little bit of a negative effect on like my emotional desire to eat, and that mental game. Like, you're not getting any carbs. Like I said, I just had a desire to eat noodles all of a sudden on the way back from the gym yesterday, and it's more of this it's not even hunger related, and it's wanting to eat. So I don't know if I could stick to an all meat for any length of time. I've thought about it in the past, because I know there's a woman who has a pretty famous father, Jordan Peterson. Her name is Michaela Peterson. She has terrible food allergies to almost every kind of food there is. I mean, you name it, she'll have breakout in hives, and she has terrible arthritis from birth. Even as a 2-year-old, had arthritis in her ankles and knees, and she's probably in her late 20s now, maybe 30. I'm not even sure how old she is, but she only eats meat for years. and she's healthy, and her body's full of vitamins and minerals, and things that people say you're going to be so lacking, and she's just not, and it's cured all of her allergies and all of her skin conditions and all of her arthritis pain, and it healed her life to only. And she like ribeye steaks, New York strip steaks. She eats other type of animals, elk, moose, whatever. She's Canadian, but my point is, it can be done, it can be sustained. But for me, it's like some psychological game that you have to eat carbs, or even I'm not thinking about I want to eat cookies. I'm thinking I want to eat even rice and or broccoli, or just even healthier options are just always like right there. So we'll see what I do on the next 4. Maybe I'll have another poll while I'm fasting this week again and change it up a little bit. I was curious if I could have stuck to all eggs because I was thinking, man, when I said all meat, I should have said meat and eggs, because I really like eggs and they complement the meat. Like you grill a ribeye with a couple eggs over easy, and then you kind of dip the meat in the eggs, and it just gives you more of a complete fat protein profile and a little more satisfying of a meal, to not have the mental and emotional desire to eat after that because you didn't eat all your favorite foods that you wanted to eat. So don't have any comments coming in. Oh, I got my first comment. How's the meat diet going? I just got done talking about it. But so, yeah, it was New Year's Eve, and I didn't stick to it because I went to a friend's house for New Year's Eve. And then also, but I did the rest of the time for the most part. I had some cashews, which I said on day one, like, hey, I bought a bunch of meat, but I also bought these cashews. So between Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now Monday, the whole can of cashews are gone. So they did kind of save me in a few situations, though, where I wanted to eat something else and junky, but instead I just grabbed an ounce or 2 or 3 of cashews, and they're high calorie and high fat, and they're not, there's some definite evidence out there that cashews are not all that healthy, which I didn't know up until about a year ago, that you probably can just not eat cashews ever and you'll be fine. Almonds, though, they're really good for you. So maybe next week when I'm eating and I go to buy all my food, I'm not even going to need to buy more meat, because I buy so much meat. I way bought too much. I have just tons and tons of meat. I mean, you go to the grocery store and you're going to eat all meat. And it's like, well, I bought a chuck roast that I used for like 3 meals. And I bought a big pack of chicken thighs that I'm not even going to eat them all, because I already ate them a couple of times and they didn't turn out that great. I made them wrong. I knew how to make it good, but I got lazy and threw them in the crock pot right after I made the roast in the crock pot with the same kind of juice in there, and just fired it back up, and it didn't turn out good. But I have all kinds of chicken wings and fish and turkey tenderloin and hamburger and everything. So I will put I probably will put a poll up, though, for what kind of not what diet, but what eating windows we do, because the 16/8 is working really good for me right now. It's pretty easy, and I think it's going to be the main contributor to how I stay under the 260 for these 4 days. But next time it's going to be less than 260 by whatever I lose, by whatever I'm down, and then let's just say it's 257 or whatever for next time when I'm eating, and then I'll fast and go way below that. But if I only eat 16/8 or 18/6 or 24 or OMAD, I might put that up there. So I got 4 different intermittent fasting windows we can choose from, and depending on how extreme it is. The OMAD, I know, works awesome. I mean, actually, the 16/8 works awesome. There's people, I'm on a Facebook intermittent fasting page where there's women on there that have lost like way over 100 pounds only eating 16/8 from noon to 8 p.m. Most of them, that seems to be the window they pick. And maybe they've been doing it for 1 year, maybe they've been doing it for 4 years, but it doesn't matter, because they didn't go on a diet. They went on an eating window change for the rest of their life, and that's how it works. That's how you end up winning. That's how, when you what's the saying, you're able, people that try and keep on trying, those are the ones that are able to find success. That's what it is. Those who find success are the ones that try and then keep trying, not give up, not stumble and fall, not fall and say, oh, cry baby, and I'm staying down. Get up, get up and go. Keep trying. So, all right. Tomorrow is gonna be episode 26. I'm already up to 25 episodes. Guys, I can see, like yesterday's video has more views by like double or triple than the one before it. So I can obviously see that people are not watching them in order, and that's kind of the idea of it is to see the psychology of how this guy's mindset was and what steps he was going through. What was he saying? What was he doing? What was he eating? How much did he weigh? What was his fasting schedule? What was his eating schedule? So that you can build a researchable history. It's not really intended to just be, hey, watch my most current video and you're going to be all caught up, because you're not. I am going to make some videos outside of this playlist that try to once I get better at video editing, and if I ever even do it, and make one that's has a before and after pictures, because like I found an awesome before picture to use from last summer before I lost all the weight, and it is disgusting. So it's perfect, and then I'm going to be all jacked and tanned and juicy as F by April 1st, or at least by the end of the summer, because it's going to keep on rolling, and we'll see how low we can go, how healthy we can be, how much we can wipe out and eliminate any diabetic possibilities, get below even pre-diabetes and get back into the normal blood sugar range, and start running 5Ks and 10Ks in the spring again, because those are very doable. I mean, if you haven't ran a 5K, it's so easy. If you start jogging around the block today, even without you could download a 5K training app, but you wouldn't even need to. Just run around the block, and 2 days later do it again, and 2 days later do it again, and 2 days later do it again. And pretty soon you'll be able to run around the block 20 times, and you'll be running a 5K. There's just nothing to it. Run down the block and then back. If you don't have a block to run around, just run down the road, and for, you could even do it for time. So it doesn't matter how far you're going, just run for 5 minutes. You say, well, and then run back for 5 minutes. And you say, well, I don't think I can jog for 10 minutes straight right off the couch. Well, just jog as far away as you can. Then if assuming it's going to be less than 5 minutes that you think you can jog, and then turn around and walk home, and do that every day. Jog and then walk home, jog and walk home. And I'm telling you, probably only 8 weeks if you did that every other day, like 3 to 4 times a week. Just say every other day. You jogged until you couldn't, slow as you want, and then turn around and walk home. And in 8 weeks, you'll be able to run a 5K, without stopping, because it's only 3.12 miles, and even if you're running like a 14-minute mile, it's still only going to take you like 36, 37 minutes to run a 5K. And then you'll be all motivated that you ran your first 5K, and you'll want to beat your time. And a few summers ago, when I was putting, I didn't have a YouTube channel, but, posting stuff on like Facebook, every time I went to a 5K, I was beating my time. I beat it by 3 minutes, beat it by 2 minutes, beat it by 1 minute. And, then it's like you finally run one in less than a half hour, and then you run one in 28 minutes and 26 minutes and 24 minutes. And, and I'm still a big dude, and I ran one on a treadmill in like 24 minutes, but I think the fastest I ran one outside was like 28 minutes. Which is still good for a big guy. But it's you don't compare yourself to anybody else. Let's say I'm going to judge my YouTube channel by, which by the way, I think, I think we just broke 150 subscribers, and also, 5,000 views. And, so I want to thank everybody for that. We are at 7,000 views and 150 subscribers. So if I was going to compare myself to the richest people on YouTube, 150 subscribers is ridiculous. I'd want to give up and throw in the towel and go home and cry. But what 150 subscribers is to me is 10 more than yesterday, and that's it. It's progress. So I really think a key to success in your better yourself new life journey, especially, it's kind of nice, the new year just hit and people are making New Year's resolutions, and it's time to step up your game and go to the next level, is to just understand that it's not going to happen overnight, that you're going to have to change your everything. You change your whole life. Just go back and start on my video 1 and just look what I was talking about. Let me take a baby step to improve myself today in some way. And, I already don't eat candy, or I don't drink pop, or I don't, excessively drink alcohol. I mean, I'll say I just drank alcohol on New Year's Eve, and that's the first time since I can remember. But it's not like it was a year ago or nothing, but at least a couple, 2 or 3 months. And then I drank like probably a whole bottle of wine, because we had several bottles of wine between the three of us. So I'm just gonna guess I drank one bottle of wine. And I hadn't drinking so long, I thought I would have been hungover, but exercising and eating right, it seemed to be able to absorb it okay. And it was red wine. It's probably the better wine for your blood sugar. Well, let's see how long I go now. It's the second, so I haven't had any alcohol in 2 days. Not that I need to count, because I don't even care. I mean, but just to see my average, I bet you I don't drink more than once or twice again before April 1st. Maybe not at all. It's just, it's just a point of making them baby steps in your life, whatever they are. I didn't have to take a baby step to reduce my drinking. It was already down to nothing. Or, I was using the e-cigarette again. So I was kind of happy to start the video while I was using that e-cigarette, because I was trying to quit that thing. And then when I made a video about it, I threw it down, and I have not taken any nicotine since then. And that's why I don't think you should use nicotine gum or nicotine patches. When you use those things, you're telling yourself you can't do it. And what I'm here to tell you is you can do it. You are powerful. Your spirit is strong. Your flesh is weak. You have to acknowledge that your flesh is weak. I'm so addicted. Yep, you are. Your flesh is addicted, but your spirit is not. Your mind knows what it wants to do, and you have to make up that decision to do it. I was reading about Dwight D. Eisenhower. He was a general in the military, became the president. But while he was a general still, he smoked like 3, 4, 5 packs of cigarettes a day. He was a crazy heavy smoker. I never knew this about him. And I was just reading, I was looking up like motivational things that, so since he was such a high ranking general, he was used to giving people orders, and they had to follow them. I mean, when you give somebody an order in the military, if they don't listen to it, they can go to prison. I mean, it's a uniform code of military justice. You don't fall under you don't have like constitutional rights when you're a soldier in the military. You sign those rights away when you become government property for a few years or however long you're in the military. So anyway, when he orders somebody to do something, they have to do it. And so you know what he did to quit smoking? He gave himself an order to quit smoking, and he never smoked a single cigarette again. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, he knew his flesh was weak and wanted to smoke, and it's very addictive. And especially when I quit smoking, like when I was a 2.5 packs a day smoker in my teens and 20s, I quit when my first daughter was born. I was in like 28 or something like that. I still wanted a cigarette like 2 years later, and I had none, so it's going to be in your head. But that physical desire, that physical drawing of that nicotine was only there for maybe a week or two. But that mental head game that day, that flesh is always going to be weak. So it's just a reminder when you have weaknesses like that, to maybe even smile. Like I was talking about, the obstacle is not something to frown at. Like, I can't win because there's an obstacle. I'm telling you, you can only win when there is an obstacle, because that's how you know what to do. This is how we know what challenges to overcome. These obstacles in life. I'm telling you, people that are born into just the easiest life you can possibly imagine, and I don't want to call people out or name names or different societies and social statuses throughout the world and throughout history, but just people that have nothing to work for, that have very little satisfaction or gratification in life. People that I've debated with people about why is there's it's about 2 to 1 African Americans in the NFL as compared to Caucasians. And he's like, do you think it's because of athleticism or just a natural physical ability? Because it's not. I mean, DNA wise, we're like almost identical. We're like 99.8 something, we're almost identical. The only thing is the little computer chip that's controlling the pigmentation of our skin. The difference is there's a lot more African Americans that are born into struggle, and that struggle is the way. And then it's 2 to 1 African Americans to Caucasians when there's only 14% Caucasians in America to begin with. So when you add that, it's more like a 6 to 1, 7 to 1. I don't even know the numbers. So it's just a point of, when you're struggling, that doesn't mean that you're losing. Evander Holyfield comes to my mind all the time. I love that man and his story. If you don't know who Evander Holyfield is, if you're young, he was a heavyweight boxer, and he fought Mike Tyson and hundreds of other people. Anyway, he had a great record. But his story, to listen how born into poverty with his mother on welfare and had brothers and sisters, and they like 3 people shared 2 cans of beans for like every meal, and just grew up dirt poor and becomes the heavyweight champion of the world, just jacked and just awesome. If you don't know the story, you gotta look it up. He fought Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson bit his earlobe off. And they fought a couple times, but he beat him. I think he beat him both times. I don't remember now, but he's just a fascinating story, just an amazing story of, coming from nothing. And that's what I'm saying. Like the harder of a beginning you have, like, oh, Zach, I'm 400 pounds. I'm never going to get to you're talking about your goal weight is 170. I'm saying you might even have it easier, like, because you have such a mountain to cast into the sea, that this is exactly what God gave us the strength to do. All the obstacles, they're there to strengthen my diabetes. I would have never changed my life if I wouldn't have got diabetes. You say, oh, diabetes is the worst thing that could happen to you. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, physical health wise, I'm way healthier now because I got diabetes. I was 315 pounds. If I wouldn't have got diabetes, I'd probably be 415 pounds right now, because nothing would have stopped me. I needed that stumbling stone to be cast into my path and trip over it and fall, so I could look up and see the light of Jesus Christ. Like, hey, dude, I'm right here. He never left me. He never forsake me. When I went back to him, he was there and ready to carry me if I needed it, but also just to support me and march shoulder to shoulder with me as a soldier of God that I want us to all identify with. We're going to have different religious beliefs and different political views and different diet advice. People have given me advice already, and I appreciate it very much, but it's just to embrace all of our differences anyway. That we're in this for our personal growth and our if you love yourself the way you are, that's what's important, to learn how to not be overly judgmental of yourself. And I might make a video of all the things you need to stop doing, but it's just the negative aspect of what we need to do. I'd say, hey, just drink water. Almost, I'm drinking a lot more tea since I started these videos, but I already drank tea regularly. I'm just drinking a lot more now because I quit drinking coffee. So, but I already right here, I can reach it, is one of those 5-gallon water jugs. And it's just, I got the cup on top and I just drink water. That's 8% of what I drink is water. So I'm not saying don't drink milk, don't drink pop, don't drink, alcohol in excess. I'm not saying everything to not do. Just drink water. It's what's on this earth to drink that God put here for us to drink. I mean, you tell me, is there something besides water? Because I don't think we're intended to drink cow's milk. I mean, a baby cow gains 600 pounds in 1 year from drinking cow's milk. That doesn't seem likely that we're supposed to drink that. It forms mucus in babies like crazy when they, if you're breastfeeding and then you switch to the bottle, the first thing that happens is they have a runny nose for like 2 years. It never goes away, and they're just snot hanging out of their nose because they're trying to get used to their body's adapting to drinking this mucus causing milk, cow's milk, and then they got to skim it and process it and pasteurize it for us to even be able to drink it. I worked on a farm just for 1 year when I was in my 20s. I grew up in the inner city. I'm no farm boy, but I moved out to the country because I lost my license. And a guy that worked where I worked, I said, hey, if I move to your town, will you give me a ride to work for the next 12 months? I lived there for exactly 12 months to the day. And anyway, I worked on this farm where we're shuffling pigs around and shooting cows in the head. And he didn't have a dairy farm, but his friend had a dairy farm next door, and we're over there visiting. And they gave us a drink out of the tank where they're just milking the cows. There was 3 of us, and 2 of us were like city boys, and one of them was a farm. But me and the other city boy, we vomited immediately drinking that. It's obviously not. It's not even drinkable. So. But if you love milk, there's I'm not gonna bash on you too hard. I would say at least probably just drink like whole milk anyway, because if you go to like, oh, I'm gonna drink skim milk because it has less fat, well then it just has more sugar, gram per gram of protein, carbohydrates, and fat. If you skim all that fat off, then it just doesn't have, then it's just a higher percentage of sugar. And it's already liquid sugar with the lactose. Lactose is sugar. That's how that cow gained 600 pounds in 1 year. So, but I do drink almond milk, not very often. I'll buy the half a gallon jug or even 2 of them when my kids are over. And we go through it, and then then I don't buy any for maybe a few weeks. But I love it. Once you get used to it, it's so good. I mean, the first ingredient is water to begin with, and then why it's called almond milk is they just like ground up almonds and it's filtered through and it's made to taste like almonds, I guess, but and some of them have a little almond flavoring or something, but much better than cow's milk in my opinion. So all right, so I'm all caught up for the day. I think I'm gonna keep this apartment is getting full of junk. I might even go. I'm gonna hit the gym, and then I'm gonna check in with you guys tomorrow, right around noon. It'll be my last day off, and no, I'm gonna check in tomorrow later. I'm gonna try to probably wait until I eat my whatever is my last thing tomorrow. I'm having to feel like I'm not gonna have much room with the weight, with the not going over 260, because like I said, after lunch I was already like 260.4. So I might not be able to eat dinner. I might not be able to eat even lunch tomorrow. We'll see. Where I'm at. But if I got a couple pounds, I'm gonna eat a couple pounds worth of food just because it's gonna work. The April 1st is still a few months away, and I'm already losing, like, if you just average it, like say 5 pounds every 8 days. And if I keep that pace up, I'll definitely pass up that 30-pound loss by April 1st and maybe even hit that 50 plus. So hey guys, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please, I can see 70% of the people that are watching my videos are not subscribed. Just follow along. You don't want to miss it because April 1st is coming, and I stood up once in one of the in video, I don't know, somewhere around 15. And I did a full circle with my shorts on, and you can see this big, we'll call it beer belly, even though I don't drink much beer, but it's like sagging over, and you're gonna see that's gonna have no sag. It's gonna be flat. Might not be like ribs sticking out flat, skinny, but I was like last summer and the summer before from pretty much doing the same routine. And it's going to be fun to be able to see that and look back. And I think I'll become a little more popular when the whole series is done and it worked. And now, there's proof that it worked because this whole history is there from day one of just getting your head screwed on straight. And a big part of it was getting out of relationships that are get away from people that aren't serving your purpose. So that sounds pretty selfish, Zach. No, it's selfish for you to be around people that are bringing you down. Why would you do that to yourself? God doesn't want that for you. Our Lord did not put those people in your path to bring you down. And it's so easy to test people. Just say something positive and watch them try to pull you down. And those are the people. I don't care if it's your parents or your brother and sister or your best friends or your supposed spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend. I mean, I'm not saying leave your husband or wife if they're not supporting you right now, but definitely look into where do you spend your energy and where are you getting the love that you're giving out to the universe, and that's what I'm focusing on a lot right now is, and don't this friend that I've had for 15 years wants to turn his back on me and run. I still love him and I still pray for him. And if he ever wants to be friends again, that's great. But I'm not going to spend my energy because he's going down. I'm not chasing you down that hole. Another friend is elevating and it's like, oh, Zach, I'm glad you're reintroducing Christ into my life. And I'm so happy to see you all positive and energetic. And somebody like that is who you want in your life. And like I said, my last 2 girlfriends, I love them very much, very, very much. Wanted to marry both of them. And not at the same time. One this past year and one like last year. 2 years ago, I dated the one, and then 1 year ago, I dated the other, and now I'm single again. But my point is, if I would have stayed with them, either one of them, they were not going in my direction. They had their own agenda, and I had my agenda, and so now I'm learning right away to, like, if I'm going to talk to a woman on a dating site or at the grocery store or whatever, it's like, find out in the first 5 minutes why you're not compatible. Don't wait 12 months, 15 months, Zach, to realize that these people are not who you wanted, and you were just chasing a little physical pleasure and dreaming bigger than it was ever going to possibly be, And then if I would have married either one of them women, now I can see it would have been a disaster, Terrible disaster. Not loving myself, not placing myself first. Oh, Zach, that's so selfish to not place your girlfriend and her children that needed you in your life and their life so bad, and be a father figure to them, and be a Christian to the woman and her children, and show them what a real Christian man can be in a relationship. I tell all my girlfriends, like, I'm not a jealous type. I'm never going to tell you what to wear. I've never rose my voice to a woman. I've never hit a woman. Um, and then they just end up taking advantage of it, and start mistreating me because they know I'm the good guy. And people say, oh, good guys finish last. It's like, I disagree. Like, I'm not in prison. I'm not shot. I'm not going to stop being the good guy. I'm just going to find the right relationship that it's also the good woman. And she's going to be happy in her life, and I'm going to be happy in my life, and we're going to share our happiness together. I'm not looking for a woman that says, oh my God, I just need you in my life, Zach, and then I'll be happy. What? Nope, that ain't. If you're not happy, I'm not going to make you happy. You got to be happy, and that's what I'm encouraging my viewers and everybody that can understand. Jesus is, if you have that hole in your heart, that and there's no Lord in it, there's no Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in that hole, in that heart, you're going to be empty, and you're not going to be able to be compatible with people that don't have that same hole in their heart. That's why I say, when them people are going down that hole, don't chase them. You got to let them go. I mean, the Bible is repeatedly, don't cast your pearls before swine, but there's a million other ones. Maybe I can dig some out for tomorrow's video, as far as like, if you're going to hold hands with somebody that's going somewhere, hold hands with Jesus Christ, because he's never going to guide you wrong. He's never going to lead you down some, dirty path. He is the light of our path, so we know where to walk. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, you guys, hit that like button. Got a few live viewers, and there's only one like, and it was probably my son that liked it. It's cheating. I got my own kids liking my videos. All right, guys, God bless, and we will see you tomorrow.